Caitlin Clark of Iowa, but now playing for Indiana in the WNBA, gets honored in Time as the Athlete of the Year.
Caitlin Clark, Time's Athlete of the Year, faced fiery criticism from Megyn Kelly over her comments on privilege and race. Instead of faltering, the WNBA star responded with grace and strength, proving she's more than just a player. She's a leader. What makes her response so powerful?
And thanks to Clark's notoriety, the Indiana Fever have become one of, if not the most popular team in WNBA ever since drafting the Iowa superstar.
Caitlin Clark has become nothing short of a sensation in the basketball world. Her journey from a standout collegiate player at Iowa to a rising star in the WNBA with the Indiana Fever is a testament to her talent, work ethic, and charisma. At Iowa, she was a powerhouse, breaking record and earning accolades that most athletes could only dream of. Her ability to score, assist, and dominate games put her in a league of her own, often drawing comparisons to the greatest players in the history of basketball. Her college career wasn't just about numbers, though those were staggering. She consistently led the NCAA in scoring and assists, turning heads every step of the way. But what stood out was her ability to make people care about women's basketball. Fans packed arenas to watch her play, and television ratings spiked whenever she was on the court. She was more than an athlete. She was an entertainer, someone who brought excitement and energy to the game. Transitioning to the WNBA, Clark carried that momentum with her, making an immediate impact with the Indiana Fever. Her presence on the team has helped increase ticket sales and viewership, proving that her star power is real and enduring. Caitlin's influence goes beyond just her on-court performance. She has become a cultural icon, inspiring young athletes, especially girls, to pick up a basketball and dream big. Her personality is magnetic, and her confidence resonates with fans across demographics. This widespread appeal is a big part of why her voice carries weight in the context of the WNBA. When Caitlin speaks, people listen, not just because of her accolades, but because she has earned a platform through her groundbreaking performances and undeniable charisma. When Caitlin Clark sat down for her Time magazine interview, she probably didn't anticipate how much her comments would ignite a broader cultural debate. As she reflected on her role in the WNBA and its history, she made a statement that resonated with some and infuriated others. She acknowledged the contributions of Black players to the league and recognized her privilege as a white player. In her words, the WNBA was built on Black players, and she felt it was important to highlight their impact on the game. This wasn't a throwaway comment. It was a thoughtful acknowledgement of the reality that Black athletes have been the backbone of the WNBA since its inception. Caitlin's intent seemed clear. She wanted to show appreciation for the pioneers who made the league what it is today, while encouraging brands and companies to invest in those players who continue to elevate the game. It wasn't about self-deprecation or diminishing her hard work. Instead, it was a genuine attempt to use her platform to shine a light on others. Her words touched on something deeper, the importance of representation in sports. The WNBA has always been a space where diversity thrives, but it's also a space where inequities persist. Caitlin's acknowledgement of privilege wasn't just about race, it was about recognizing the systemic challenges that have shaped the league and its players. By speaking up, she added her voice to a larger conversation about equity and inclusion in professional sports.
You're too cute by half, and you've managed to piss off your fan base. Go ahead and look at my Twitter feed and the comments under my tweet on this. She's lost thousands of fans.
Megyn Kelly wasted no time reacting to Caitlin Clark's comments, taking to X, formerly Twitter, to voice her disapproval. She accused Clark of apologizing for being white and slammed her acknowledgement of privilege as condescending and performative. In her post, Kelly framed Clark's statement as unnecessary self-flagellation, criticizing her for seemingly bowing to cultural pressures instead of celebrating her success. Kelly's criticism struck a chord, but not in the way she might have hoped. Many saw her reaction as dismissive and overly harsh, missing the nuance of what Caitlin was trying to say. For Kelly, the issue seemed to be about identity politics infiltrating sports, a theme she has addressed before in her critiques of woke culture. To her, Clark's comments felt like pandering, a betrayal of her achievements, and a misguided attempt to appease critics. However, this perspective overlooked the intent behind Clark's words, which were less about apology and more about acknowledgement. The exchange between Kelly and Clark underscores a larger cultural tension. In recent years, discussions about race and privilege have become increasingly polarized, with little room for a middle ground. Kelly's reaction reflects a segment of society that views such acknowledgements as divisive rather than constructive. To her and her supporters, highlighting racial dynamics in sports detracts from the merit-based achievements that should define an athlete's career. Caitlin Clark's response to the controversy surrounding her comments was remarkable. While many would crumble under the weight of public scrutiny and online backlash, Clark showcased a level of composure and maturity that belies her age. Speaking at the Time dinner, she addressed the criticism head-on during a conversation moderated by NBC sports host Maria Taylor. Her words didn't come across as defensive or reactive, but rather as thoughtful and centered, reflecting her ability to stay grounded, even in the face of intense public attention. When asked about Megyn Kelly's remarks, Clark made it clear that she doesn't let outside opinions dictate her actions or thoughts. She said, "The only opinions I care about are the people I love, my teammates, my coaches, the people inside our locker room, the people I see every single day and know have my best interest at heart." This wasn't just a brush-off, it was a statement of where her priorities lie. For Clark, what matters most is her support system, the people who know her best and understand her intentions. Clark's response also demonstrated her ability to maintain focus on her career and personal growth, despite the noise. She emphasized her respect for the WNBA's history and the Black athletes who paved the way, reiterating that her comments were never meant to diminish her hard work. Instead, they were an acknowledgement of the broader context in which she plays. "I know what this league was about," she said. "It's only been around 25 plus years, and so I know there have been so many amazing Black women that have been in this league. Continuing to uplift them is very important, and that's something I'm very aware of." This perspective highlights a key strength of Clark's character, her ability to stay authentic. She didn't backtrack or apologize for her comments, nor did she engage in the kind of rhetoric that would escalate the controversy. Instead, she chose to stand by her words while emphasizing the values of respect and inclusivity. By doing so, she reaffirmed her commitment to both her sport and the principles she believes in. Clark's grace under pressure is part of what makes her such a compelling figure. Her ability to focus on her teammates, coaches, and personal growth, rather than outside distractions, is a lesson in leadership. She understands that success isn't just about individual accolades, but also about how you navigate challenges and lift others along the way. Ultimately, her response wasn't just a rebuttal to criticism. It was a testament to her character and dedication to the game she loves. Caitlin Clark's comments about white privilege struck a nerve because they touched on a complex and deeply rooted issue: the intersection of race and privilege in sports. Sports have always been a microcosm of society, reflecting its triumphs, struggles, and contradictions. Clark's acknowledgement of the contributions of Black players to the WNBA was both a tribute to the league's history and a recognition of the broader systemic dynamics at play. But as the reaction showed, these kinds of conversations are never simple. Race and privilege have long been contentious topics in sports. Historically, athletes of color have faced enormous challenges, from overt racism to systemic barriers that limited their opportunities. Think of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in baseball, or Serena Williams dominating tennis, a sport historically dominated by white players. These athletes didn't just compete, they carried the weight of cultural expectations and societal change. Clark's comments, while coming from a different angle, fit into this broader narrative of athletes engaging with the social realities of their time.
It's true that most of these Black women have been bullying her and want her to understand it's their league. Hello, you don't own the league. Blacks don't own the league just like whites don't own tennis or golf.
The WNBA has long been a space where Black women have excelled, and their contributions have often gone underappreciated. By acknowledging this, Clark demonstrated an awareness of the dynamics within her sport. However, her comments also highlighted the challenges white athletes can face when addressing issues of race in a predominantly Black league. Any acknowledgement of privilege can be perceived as insincere or performative, especially in a climate where such discussions are highly polarized. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.